Miles College is the only four-year HBCU nestled in the vibrant Birmingham metropolitan. Miles College is the only four-year HBCU nestled in the vibrant Birmingham metropolitan community. For 125 years, our institution has been more than a mere college. It's a cherished, extended family and a steadfast pillar within our community. We offer a holistic educational experience that fosters growth across all facets of life. Join our esteemed Golden Bear family. Let's shape a brighter future for individuals, families, and society at large.
We're about to go live. It's some of these names. Listen, y'all have some serious. I know my name is some serious, but that Bonrico, oh my God, I am in love. And listen, Bonrico Anthony Shanks, like Renee. Listen, Renee, simple name, Renee Valencia, very beautiful name. Look at Renee, you wearing that hat, girl? Come on. Make it make sense.
And we already live, y'all. We live.
We are live on the Real Talk with Mike still. We're waiting for some folks to come in.
We are live. And we're waiting for folks to come in. Man, I have a special guest. Y'all know how I do it, man. I do it each and every week, man, bringing y'all some of the most interesting people around the globe.
Oh, globe. Okay.
The globe. I won't even say around the globe, the world. Not Birmingham, not Florida, not Georgia, not Mississippi, not Atlanta, not New York, the globe. And I got a good one tonight. I got a great one tonight, man. And it's my pleasure to have my good friend, my Mayoral in the building, man. How you doing, Miss
I'm
Givan?
wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing
Make it make
good.
sense. We are here. We're delighted to be here. It's past my bedtime, but we're gonna make it do what it do.
Hey, I think it's past both our bedtime now. But we're gonna make it do what it do.
And absolutely we are. What we got?
We're gonna make it make sense. But before we get into all of it, before we get going, I like to ask my guest one question.
Bonrico said, make it make sense. Let's go. Hey, Carla Dudley, we on our way now. Let's go.
Yeah, we here. I like to ask the guest that comes in and sit in that hot chair one question, and it may be a little ebonics, but we're going to ask it anyway. In one word, who is Juandalynn Givan?
Me.
Boy, she hesitate. Did she hesitate? No, she did not. She is me.
Listen,
uniquely made.
Listen, wonderfully uniquely made. Listen, sometimes when folks ask that question, all folks, I'm this. No, I am me. I am who God made me. Mm-hmm. He made me for such a time as this. He made me for any other time in my life. He made me to be purposeful. He made me. So I do not have to look, and I don't subscribe to looking through Webster's dictionary, through any type of thesaurus to come up with a big word to describe me when it's just simply me. Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Hey, Bridget Ward.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all people all over the world, in the studio, I have Alabama State Representative, Mayoral candidate, Juandalynn Givan in the building. Y'all give her a round of applause.
Make it make sense.
Come on,
we are here. We are coming. Bridget, we're coming. And this is full disclosure, Mike. This is Mountain Dew. I do not drink alcohol. I do not partake. That's my personal thing. Yeah. So I didn't want anyone to think that I'm on here drinking.
Man,
this is a natural high I'm on every day, y'all. And that's kind of scary.
We don't drink alcohol in the studio or in the building or anywhere.
That's
so good. Hey, so I thank you for that. But let's give you a round of applause anyway. Come on. I got you.
Nah,
what's wrong with these? Go ahead, girl. You can do it. They ain't gonna let me do it. Lily ain't gonna let me. So What is Lily? Wait, what is the Lily?
Lily, listen, that's my nickname. Every neighborhood has a Lily, a Kiki, a Ken, Boo Man,
May.
Ray.
May,
Listen,
no.
every neighborhood,
Yeah.
from somewhere, from shore to shore, has one Pookie. Listen,
Right.
I mean, I have been Lily all my life. My middle name is Delethea. My grandmother was named Letha.
Okay.
And as a result, I guess they just started calling me Lily. I never really tried to figure it out, but it works for me. And a lot of people actually in Montgomery call me Lily.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I saw that. I actually saw Lily when I looked at your headshot for the government for the
State House.
State House.
Mm-hmm.
It has Lily.
And it was when I first ran for the State House, I actually had Lily on the ballot. So yeah. So that's it.
Hey, that's how they know you.
That's how they know.
That's how they resonate with you. Okay, that is good. Okay, so now you from Birmingham, of course.
Yes. Well, I always say from two obscure places on the map. My mother was from Adamsville. My father was from Graysville, a place called Alden.
Alden, that's up 459.
Up 78. Up Highway 78,
but
like you're going
Adamsville is up
78. It's all of them right there together, both right there together. So two more obscure places, but beautiful places. Quiet, very low crime.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody. It's like Mayberry. Everybody knows everybody, and everybody knows everybody's business. So yeah. And we lived growing up. My grandmother's house was on a one-way street,
right.
And there's a cemetery. So on Saturdays, the thing we did every Saturday, because one thing about it, if you live, you're going to die.
Yeah.
And on Saturdays, every funeral had to pass through there to go to the old community cemetery, and our house sat right there. So, yeah.
So everybody knew each other. So, it was a small community. So if somebody died, you knew who that person was.
Everybody.
And that whole family.
Everybody.
Yeah, golly. So, mom and dad, growing up, they raised you together.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. My parents raised me together. My father has been deceased now. September 28th of this year will actually be the 10-year anniversary. I was very close to my father, especially in my latter years or his latter years. Yes. He was actually one of my biggest supporters outside of Hezekiah Jackson. A lot of folks knew Hezekiah. Was just like a brother to me. He passed away last year. Coming up on August 6th of this year will be 1 year. So he was my partner, my friend.
Yeah.
That go-to guy. And so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry when people bring up, their loved ones that passed on. I like to just do 1 second, a moment of silence, man. I'm sorry.
Well, I appreciate
That's
that.
what I do.
Yeah, because some days it does feel like if Father's Day just passed, and I had a call some years ago, Mozella Pack, she called me, she said, Givan, one day it's going to always feel like that's the first day that someone said that your father had passed. And that's true, and I think I spoke about it during Father's Day this year.
Well, let me honor him with a moment of silence real quick here. And thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, my parents died. They both dead too. So
okay.
Yeah, my mom. Anyway, I don't want to get into it, but it's when I was 11 years old, my mom died.
Wow.
So
I'm sorry.
Well, it is what it is, man. No one here. We are not here forever.
No,
it's gonna happen. So you growing up in these small towns. What high school you attended?
I went to Minor High School.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Minor. And then we later moved to Wylam, and I lived in Wylam and Inslee.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Barstow, and now I live down in the downtown area.
So how was you in high school?
It was great. I was a good kid. I wasn't always the most studious kid, but I was tough.
Yeah.
I'm still tough now.
Tougher than leather.
Yeah,
right?
I grew up tough. I grew up playing around boys. I was a tomboy. This scar I have on my forehead right here came as a result of being hit because I was at that time standing too close to the bat. I played softball and baseball.
Okay.
I was real tough.
You were tougher than leather.
Yeah. Every time my father came home, he was taking me to the emergency rooms for a broken arm.
He was like, "Come on, Lily, let's get this taped up."
Broken foot. This is a true story. But yeah, I am a very, very tough person. And that's why, even today with everything that's going on, folks call me and say, how can you, and even if I just mention what's going on, I'm just mentioning it because I think it's like ridiculous. I'm not mentioning it on Facebook or whatever to say like I'm like broke. Because if you come from me, every time I go to the fight, I'm gonna have a baseball bat.
We're gonna get to some of these hot button topics too.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean,
we definitely gonna get to some of these. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So you do have a brother though.
I have several brothers.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. How many siblings do you have?
Darnell, Brian, and Derek.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and not to stray away a little bit here, but I've seen where one of your brothers came to your defense about something that was going on the internet.
Listen, let me tell you something. It's not easy. First of all, when I started working for Richard Arrington many, many years ago, the one thing first thing he said is, listen, when you come into political office or in this world, you have to have a couple of things you have to know. First of all, you have to know who you are.
Yeah.
You must know whose you are. And the other thing is you try your best to insulate your family out of your political business, unless it's somebody who can take it. I try not to mix my family in my political business because they're not in it daily with me.
Yeah.
So I'm strong enough to stand on my own. But even with that, some of the ridiculousness that is going on now, listen, I don't know what's embedded in this position for mayor, but there are some folks that are very, very worried about me possibly winning this race or the thought, because let me tell you something, I am being attacked on every end by it. Listen, folks I've never met, I've never had a conversation with, wouldn't know if I saw them. So it is just so funny. But and the thing about it was so beautiful. Every time they come for me, I get a blessing. Every time they hit me below the belt, I rise up. Every time they defame my character, they lie, something good happens. And I'm saying to myself every day, God has a covering over me through this process. So I say this to my brother as well. Listen, I've been in this thing a long time. I work for Arrington, Bell, and Kincaid. I'm used to this political life. I've always been told you don't make permanent enemies in politics. And I do not mix my family. But my brother is a part of my canvassing. He's actually managing on behalf of my other brother, my canvassing team. So as a result, some of the foolery last week, he's like, these people are coming after you. So,
Yeah. So, I mean, I saw some of that, and I'm assuming, well, I'm not even assuming because I saw it. He did what any other brother would do, probably, because I would do it.
Yeah.
I have a twin sister, and I would do anything for them. And I have a younger sister, too. So
listen, these people have attacked how I look.
Yeah.
I'm a bad sister. I mean, they attacked my dress. They attack my level of intellect. They attack my health.
Yeah.
They attack, my everything.
They're not letting up, some of these folks, man. But here's the thing. And I'm just hypothetical. Well, I'm not even hypothetical speaking. Do they really matter, though?
They don't really matter. Some of these people are the incumbents' cousins that work for the city of Birmingham.
See, I'm a transplant.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Some of these people work for the city of Birmingham. They're relatives, they're friends. Also, what people need to understand during the political process, you have political pawns. You have those that you bring in to serve as Facebook assassins. Radio warriors, and you pay them small amounts, and then they will be the ones that will go on and attack your opponent. I try my best to stay away from that as best I can, because in the end, it never works out well, but it's been a political tactic that people have used for many, many years. But I try my best to stay away from it because I feel like I can speak for myself. All of the attacks on me as of late, again, for me, it's the only thing I think that bothers me about it is A, it's unwarranted.
Yeah.
B, the women who, even down with the issue of prostitution, you would drag me because I rolled out a tape, but yet you come on every day and criticize me and call me out of my name, but then you want to cry holy, holy to shame me about a video footage. Make it make sense. I'm saying to myself, this is crazy to me. Like, this is, and I've been around this politics a long time, but I've never seen anything like this. And then this one DJ, listen.
Who look, and you mentioned a DJ. Oh, what DJ are you talking about? You just rather not say, or
listen. I wouldn't. You know how you have those people who want to die martyrs, and you know when they commit all these killings, mass killings,
yeah,
and the first thing the press says is don't call their name because you don't want to. That's what they wanted for somebody. They wanted to go down in infamy.
Yeah.
I refuse to do it. But listen, if you have a show and every day you have 3 hours where you're only talking about me. If you have a show,
I need to follow that show.
Then you lie.
Just see what they talking about.
You lie every day. It's a lie out of your mouth because you want to be the authority around Birmingham. I mean, you're not. Because listen, when you get into that realm where you can become a voice, you have to find a balance. When you are demanding and you are belligerently trying to force something down someone's throat, you're not being a voice. When you look at syndicated radio shows across this country, they may make certain comments, they may do certain things, but there's a stopping point that you get to. Well, this particular person,
yeah,
who I have always at one time respected up until probably my last election. And it was where this person that was running against me bought airtime every other day, it seemed like, just to come on and slander me. And he just, again, allowed
it to happen.
Yeah. And it's a break.
You got to have some integrity about radio.
You have to have integrity.
Yeah, you got to have some.
He is losing integrity. Yeah. Every day somebody is calling me to say, I am going to stop listening to his show. And he doesn't. I'm sure he's seeing the numbers are not quite all the way where they used to be.
Yeah.
And that's why, because there's a limit. But to lie, it's a limit.
I mean, well.
And someone should ask why there's such a turnover at that radio station. You had so many good people at that particular station who have left. He is the reason why they have left. So he can keep coming for me all he wants to. You lied. He lied and said I was at an event, a vigil, in which I demanded the microphone. I tried to take the microphone and to speak at the vigil for the young man that was killed in Homewood, which was a lie.
Now, So, hold on now. Make it make sense. I'm going to use your word right now.
Make it make sense.
You saying to me that this particular person said that you demanded a microphone.
I demanded the microphone
to speak at a visual.
At a visual.
What this young man, you talking about Mr. Peoples?
Yes,
God
Mr. Peoples. God bless
family. You, man, and the family. Jesus.
And how dare I show up? I was invited.
Yeah.
Not by one person, not by two people, but several persons.
Right.
So much so that someone's parent that was there from the radio station came up to me, hugged me, and said, Juandalynn, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you for having the courage to come, because there had been so many attacks on me because of this piece of legislation, for which I stand very proud of.
Well, since we here, since we here, but first of all, let me just take 1 second to step back to say, because I'm just trying to wrap my head around what you're saying, Juandalynn. You saying that it was a lie told on you, basically.
Absolutely.
That's what you're saying.
Absolute
I just want to make sure
I got
you
my
right.
car. I walked up. Brandon, who was the host, he gave me a hug. Several other people had hugged me. I walked in the presence of this DJ.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I had said nothing.
So
I stood there humbly.
the DJ that you speak of, he was there.
He was there. And listen, he was the one who was very upset, is my understanding, because he felt he should have been the one
to get the microphone.
To get the microphone, to host an MC. I didn't even know all of that until this just came about. I don't do mix.
God.
And so he
this is a visual we talking about.
He left the visual because he could not take over, because he felt their station should have been the one. So WJLD, the young man, Brandon, he actually did a very phenomenal job.
Oh, they politicizing this?
They are politicizing this. But the thing about it is, you would politicize someone's death to almost make it appear as I am the reason for the young man's death because of their family not being given the body cam. That is ridiculous to do that. Who would do that?
That is that. I mean, like,
and what you also do when you do things like that, you put a target. The reason I'm upset to the listening audience, I want you all to come closer. The reason I'm upset is because when you do things like that, you put a target on someone.
Yeah.
That is very dangerous what you're doing. You're putting a target on my back, on my head.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many fanatics out there. There are so many people who love sensationalized stories. And when you do what you're doing, it is very dangerous. Just like the meme that the incumbent did of me in September. You put my face dead center to say, I do not support public safety in Jefferson County, but you put it dead center with a red writing. You have people, and several people from law enforcement call me and say, listen, these people have literally put a target on you. So people, Dimple, thanks you. I'm glad you're on. You're putting a target on me because of something, and it's not true. That is how dangerous what they are doing is. Someone could attempt to hurt me over this. Mike, you see it every day. Am I lying?
No, you're not lying. I mean, I just...
It is so immature.
Yeah, you got, facts are facts.
And I'm going to reach out to the owner of this station tomorrow. My legal team is going to reach out to the owner who I know of this station to say to him, enough is enough. Now, this person who owns the station is a supporter of the incumbent. I have no problem with that. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to keep allowing someone at your station to put a target on my back, on my forehead, over something foolish, especially over legislation, which has been debated and discussed for the last almost 3 years now, almost 2 to 3 years, for which this should not even be at issue. And then I'm going to break down for you all of the details regarding what has transpired regarding this case. And you all will see in the few days how it unfolds. Your listening audience will see how it unfolds. Not only has he put this target out on me, just like last week, the situation with Miles College, and I made a comment. Well, someone from Miles speaks with this assassin from the incumbent's team to tell them that I sent them a text message, and I did send a text message. I'm very honest about that. And my message only read, it was one thing: stay out of this race. Well, I get a message back: you don't run Miles College and you don't boss me. I'm grown. I'm almost 60 something. Make it make sense.
Now, say that again now.
Did you hear what I said?
No, please.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah,
This is the foolery. I sent a message and I only simply said, listen, stay out of this race. Well, I get a response back: I don't run Miles College and I don't run them. And then the next thing you know, this assassin comes at me on the radio. This is the foolery. And I want the general public to know what really is going on around here in the foolery. I'm not going to lie on you, for you, to you, or about you. I have been involved in many races, and when someone says, hey, Givan, stay out of this race, nobody really ever tells me that because they know I know the rules. I don't get involved in other folks' races. If I have two friends are in the race, I stay neutral. I don't put one up on a stage. I don't try to lift one up versus the other. I stay neutral. I only did that. So I'm only putting this in the context of the assassins that are out there. So they have come in so many different ways at me.
All right. Let's take one step back, because we're going to tie all that back in, Juandalynn. But that bill, I need to play something. And I know your people probably can't see it, but I want to play this video. And I think and I'm gonna turn it around so you can see it. Where your earphones at? You got your earphones? In your lap?
I don't, but I can put them on.
Yeah, put them on just so you can listen to it real
Y'all
quick.
Listen to this video.
Yeah. And hey, Real Talk with Mike Steele, man, that's all you got to do. You can Google it, Real Talk with Mike Steele, if you need if you don't have access to me or don't know who I am. Hold on one second. Where is it? That's another video I want to ask you about too, but let's play this.
According to the Homewood Police Department, arrangements have been made to allow the family of Jabari Peoples to view that police body camera footage.
CBS 42's Sydney Spencer joins us now in our newsroom. Sydney, could this footage be released to the public soon?
Yeah, well, Carly, that may not happen unless this investigation is taken to court and given approval from a judge. That's according to one local attorney. And that's because Alabama does not have a law requiring body camera footage to be released to the public. Now, with that being said, there is one law that allows family members to be given that access.
Under House Bill 289, body-worn cameras or dashboard cameras used by law enforcement is eligible to be seen, but only by a parent, court-appointed guardian, spouse, or attorney of the person within the footage.
That we needed to have something in place for family members, for representatives of those individuals.
Alabama House Representative Juandalynn Givan created the bill after previous officer-involved cases across the country and locally. She says at first the legislation did push for the immediate release of body camera footage to the public upon request, but the idea continuously failed.
So our compromise was, because so much was happening because of George Floyd and because of other situations, our compromise ultimately ended up being that at best we will allow for family members.
The bill signed into law in 2023 as the only law currently in place in the state regarding the release of body camera footage, according to Representative Givan. Attorney Martin Weinberg has represented clients in the past involved in officer-related incidents.
But law enforcement footage is not considered public record. It isn't even when the case is over in Alabama.
Weinberg says he feels the bill offers a foot in the door in terms of making body camera footage eligible for immediate public release in the state. But he feels there can be both pros and cons in doing so.
But we're still dealing with criminal investigations or internal affairs investigations, and so there would be a need for those to be kept private, and also the concern, what would it do to a jury pool?
Now, I did ask Representative Givan if there will be an extension of this law in the future to allow body camera footage to be public record. She said that could soon be in the works. In the newsroom, Sydney Spencer, CBS 42 News.
Sydney.
So now, my question to you, as I see on social media, people, some, not all, just a few, saying that because you passed this bill, or you are the author of this bill, so to speak, that this is the reason why this young man's family cannot get body cam footage.
Absolutely not true. Listen, had it not been for me,
Yeah.
the possibility of this young man's family would not even be on the table. Before we were able to finally, after not being even able for 2 or 3 years to get a bill even in committee, the Republicans wouldn't even show up to committee to even allow the conversation.
Yes, ma'am.
Had it not been for Juandalynn Givan and the minority leader and the members of the Alabama Black Caucus, Democrats, and anyone else that was there at the time, we would not even having this discussion, because it would be an outright, absolute zero, zilch, nada, none. You just heard Attorney Weinberg, Martin Weinberg, say this one thing about the fact that it is a foot in the door.
Yeah, that's what he said.
And the reason it is a foot in the door is because we could not even give families relief. Now, with regards to this bill, the city of Homewood elected for some reason to turn this over, or the state, Aaliyah stepped in to do the investigation. So they are serving right now as an independent investigator. That usually happens in officer-involved shootings.
Yes.
The family, there is a process. You make petition. Yes, the bill does say that they may not or do not have to turn body cam over, and it's not a public record.
Yeah.
Let me say to the people, I want y'all to come closer.
Yeah, look at both of those cameras.
I want y'all to hear me as I talk to you about this. Listen, You don't want body cam being able to be readily 150% turned over to where anybody can get body-worn cameras. You think you do, but you don't. Why? No differently than what Weinberg was saying. Weinberg just said on that video. At the end of the day, there are certain things that you need to be very careful of. That person who may be able to just go get body cam, use it at their discretion. They could be looking for someone. They could try to see what individuals were involved. There could be faces in their body cam that may not be obscured from normal visual, the normal viewing or visual. All of these different things. Plus, you don't want to ruin the possibility of a jury trial or tainting the jury. There is not an appetite, not just from Republicans, but not all Democrats are in favor of just turning over body-worn cameras. So we said if we were able to reach a compromise, let's at best put something in place for the family to be able to review it. Many instances now, and I'm proud of this, many families are now being able to see the body-worn camera produced from those cameras during the incidents that their loved ones are involved in.
Absolutely.
There is a petition. Of course, it can be rejected or it can be accepted.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me just tell y'all what is happening with the Homewood case. Homewood was the custodian of the record. That means it happened in Homewood.
That's right.
It was their officer. The officer involved shooting. It was in their possession.
Correct.
Initially, they said they were going to turn the video footage over or allow the family to see and view it.
Yes.
However, in between that time, Aaliyah got involved, stepped in as the independent investigator.
Right.
And when Aaliyah, that is the Alabama law enforcement agency, that means all law enforcement for the state of Alabama falls, am I right, Mike?
Yeah, that's right.
Falls under them.
Yeah.
Therefore, what happens is once they become the independent investigator, they are then now the custodian of the record.
Yeah.
They are investigating. Do I want them to let the family see it? Absolutely not. But I'm going to tell you a story about what has happened in the last 24 hours. So they decided and that's their procedure, until they finish or conclude the preliminary investigation, what they will then do, if whatever the findings are, they will turn it over to the prosecutor.
That's right.
Then the prosecutor will take it from there and make that determination. Well, the District Attorneys Association in the state of Alabama is not in favor of releasing or turning over body cam footage. Everybody sat down on this bill, from the District Attorneys Association, the Attorney General's Office, Chiefs Association, Sheriff's Association. Sheriff Mark Petway, I love him, but he's not going to stand up and say, I want you to turn that body cam footage over there like that. Our district attorney, same thing. He's not going to do it because that goes against their principles and their standards. So for all of you all who are listening, it's not going to happen. Those are entities, all of those associations were at the table. But the thing that happened in Homewood, and I want y'all to listen to me, Mike, the thing that happened in Homewood, the tape went to Aaliyah. They're investigating. Yesterday, a statement was released by the attorney for the family. I don't tell other lawyers what to do.
Yeah.
Also,
meanwhile, hold on. You don't tell other lawyers what to do because you are
because I am an attorney.
Okay, go ahead.
Listen, I used to do criminal before I went in the legislature.
Yeah.
I stopped doing as much or any really because I don't ever want to have someone's life in my hands or livelihood or whatever. Right. So let me just tell you, a statement was released yesterday afternoon. I spoke with the attorney for the people's family. I spoke with him right before I headed to the park for the visual.
Right.
Not knowing he had released or was about to release a statement in which he said that the Homewood Police Department did not find a gun, that the young man was shot from behind, and made several other statements in a written statement to the media. You are making petition for body cam. You make that kind of statement.
They're going to hold on to the camera.
Once you make that statement, and let me tell you why. I got on the phone once I spoke with counsel, trying my best to figure out a solution. This is the same girl that they're saying went to the park and clown. I called to Hal Taylor, who is the head of the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, myself.
Yeah.
I don't beg anyone. I begged Hal because this would have been the test case since the bill was passed by Aaliyah. We almost got right there. But before we closed out, he said, Givan, I'm going to get back with you in the morning. He said, but I want to avoid this thing where it's just all of these accusations and this, that, and all of the whatever that comes along with it. Not knowing now, not me, not knowing that the counsel had issued the statement. So I'm arguing, defending all of these things in hopes to get the family. So I left off with Hal Taylor, the head of Aaliyah, last night. This is what I said. And he listen, I bet you he'll vouch for it. He said, Givan, he said, listen, if I open it up, because it's a test case. So I then said, listen, let counsel come in one person. We already know the rule is they can't take it with them. They can't film it. Let's look at who will come in on behalf of the family. You can allow 2 people, 1 person. It's at their discretion. We went over all of that. Well, I had him right here. So all of y'all, I want y'all to hear me, Dimples. I had them right here. 2 minutes later, the statement was released.
He did release the statement.
He released the statement, and the statement said that the young man had been shot in the back. There was no weapon, and all of these other, and at this point, all negotiation.
It went
away. Yeah. I can promise you all of this happened. We were just that close. Listen.
So you
listen, and make it make sense.
Yeah, make it make sense.
So it wasn't until I'm headed there when all of this happens, all of the talks crash. And not only that, it fell right in line with what the director, the head of Aaliyah was saying. This is a test case. We've got to figure it out. And then you go out and you make a blanket statement. Well, let me say this to you. I have certain details now about what has happened. You all will see how this will unfold in short order. And I will simply say shame on those that are on the radio and shame on all of those who are making all of these comments. But the reality check will come soon. And it's a very unfortunate situation because, first of all, it's not for the good. It's not for the family. Do I want the family to see the footage? Absolutely. I would not want any mother to not know what happened to their child. That is why I sponsored the bill. E.J. Bradford's family went a while without knowing if the officer was a male, female, black, white. At the end of the day, every parent deserves the right to know what happened to their child.
Definitely.
But you will not see a day in Alabama that they will turn over full body cameras. It's just, you're not going to get support of all Democrats. You're not going to get support of all black folks. And had we had body cam, I'll say this. The young man that is in the county jail right now, who went out and just was killing folks who he thought was witnesses, who thought this, had he been able to just go get body camera last year, you would not have seen 20-something, give or take roughly 20 people killed. You would have seen so much carnage because that footage can be so deadly in the hands of the wrong people. To sum it up, and I said this to the counsel for the People's Family yesterday, as an attorney, yes, we want to be able to see the footage because we're trying to make sure that nobody did anything that fell under the elements of law that could bring about a civil action or criminal. But at the end of the day, it's more to get in the hands of the attorney to figure that out. So at the end of the day, they will get the footage, even if it's during if they file a suit or something, they'll get it because they'll request it under Rule 26. That will take a little bit longer. Listen, it took forever just to get this piece of legislation, and we're going to get relief for this family. But for all of this foolery out here, I need them to stop it.
Well, they're yet to remain seen. So we talked about the bill. You just explained the bill. You just explained,
I explained the bill to a T. But I also explained for you all some details that y'all did not know.
Yeah.
And let me just tell you something. I will say this. Several media outlets said to me today when they received the statement.
Yeah, go ahead.
One such station said when they saw it, got it in the newsroom, this is a layperson.
Go ahead.
It was effery.
Yeah.
To the case. It was a bad move. I wouldn't have done it. I've talked with several folks. At the end of the day, you can blame the bill. I don't know. I don't speak for how other lawyers do, but
yeah.
And
you can't speak on that either. Because
I'm not going to, Kenneth, I want to answer Kenneth. I'm not going to say that the footage is in the hands of the wrong people. The footage is in the hands of the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency.
Yeah,
they're not going to doctor that footage or anything. But I think what needs to happen, follow the process. And if you follow this process, you will see what happened. And the realization is when it all comes out, my argument is this. I believe in the rule of law, whether I like it or not. But I also believe in the process to get to that rule of law. And what we're now in the process of, once Homewood allow Aaliyah to take custody as an independent investigator, I will give you an example. Our office last year had a case in Tuscaloosa. The young man, last name was Clark. He was killed during almost around the December month of year before last. Body cam was at issue. We wanted it day one. We probably got it maybe a week. It was an officer-involved shooting. Well, we were able, after the first, maybe couple of days passed, it was a very difficult process for the family. We didn't do a whole lot of the whatever, and it was very speculative as to what happened. But we waited for maybe about a week. It was probably a week. It went through the same process. The family, we were able to go in with the family, the prosecutor, with law enforcement officers, and we were able to not only watch it, we watched it as many times as we wanted to watch. Work step by step, play by play, line by line, time stamp by time stamp. And we were able to go through that. And we've done that with several families. And there are a lot of families now. And that is why you're not hearing Mike as much over the last 2 years about you had the Perkins case. Well, in the Perkins case, several of his family members reached out to me early on because they were saying, well, we want to see the body cam and nobody will let us. So when I asked the question, did you make the petition? They hadn't even made the petition yet for the body cam. Just like with the young man down in Mobile, his lawyer called. They were going to the city council. They were going to the mayor. They were going everywhere except for to the custodian. So it's a process.
Yeah, before this piece of a legislation, I can't even speak. Before that you adopted and with many supporters.
We didn't have nothing.
Y'all didn't have nothing in place.
Not a hope.
Yeah, so my whole thing is, how could anyone blame you for anything?
Because it doesn't allow for an outright showing or taking of the video. No, and I want to say this, and I want everybody to hear me. No one legislative body. You are not going to find out of 20-something Democrats or 30 Democrats or whatever, where you're going to have all 30-something Democrats that's going to support that. It's not going to happen. Nor Republicans. It's not going to happen.
And what is the ratio in the House?
It's 70. Oh God, it is a super minority. It's 105 House members, 77 of 70, between 75 and 77 of them are Republicans.
And trying to get a bill passed is like what?
It's very difficult. It's very difficult. Yeah. That's one of the reasons we were able finally to get something passed, especially dealing with law enforcement, guns, all of that. Because again, you do have even some Black people and Democrats, they support certain bills because we have to take positions, but they are torn because you have a lot of folks that are deep into this Second Amendment and all of this stuff, and people have their own political values as well as their human.
And I would say
values.
rightfully so too, because I mean that's what makes us us.
That's what makes people different. And so people and what gets me is everybody wants to tell me or tell the general public about what's going on in the legislature. You've never served in the legislature. You've never come between those double doors. That is why when we go in behind the glass double doors, nobody can hear us unless the speaker allows for the microphone to be on when you're in the well speaking at the mic. So make it make sense that all of these brilliant bobblehead minds out here on the radio that are spitting just lies.
Yeah.
It's just really pitiful.
Okay. So now you're running for Birmingham mayor.
I am.
Yeah, we're going to transition right on to this too. You're running for Birmingham mayor. Is this a personal goal for you? Was this like something that you wanted to do?
No, it was not initially. And I'll be honest with you. Last year, for the last few years, and it's verifiable, Google it. For the last few years,
Google it, y'all.
I have been the only person that is running for mayor that literally took on City Hall. Took on City Hall because of all the killing. Stood up to City Hall to say, listen, this is ridiculous. We only have 300 plus sworn law enforcement officers. Stood up to City Hall to say this city is filthy. It is now becoming rat infested. We're in a position or posture now where we're now down to 2 days of garbage service a month, every other week instead of twice a week. So at the end of the day, our public works department only has 500 people when it should have at least a little bit over 1,100, maybe 1,200 people. Listen, at the end of the day, all of the contracts for different services are going out of town, out of state. We have an issue with homelessness right here, but yet all of the contracts are going to someone out of state. My question is, why is that? We have people here in the city of Birmingham that can perform all of these services that are needed. Everything's being outsourced, but not to us. So that's questionable. But also the realization is there are 99 neighborhoods, 23 communities. But the only 3 that really matter is uptown, downtown, and south side. 3 mass killings. The first one, 4 young men killed on Center Street. It was Center Street.
Okay.
4 best friends. That was February of 2024. Nobody talks about those 4 young men. Get to later on, leading into coming out of the summer. Well, the mass killings, 4 people died in North Birmingham. Nobody says a word. But when it happened on the south side, the whole earth shook in Birmingham. Make it make sense. Our streets are terrible. Potholes are everywhere. Listen, raggedy roads everywhere. Look at our parks. The parks are ate up in Birmingham. The grass is just total erosion now. The horticulture department in many instances only has maybe somewhere between 15 to 20 people per district working. Look at our green spaces. This fun center, family fun center. If I'm living on the east side, I'm not driving all the way to the Crossplex.
Okay.
For a family fun center. So why right now is just enough right now. Everything you're seeing trucks rolling. Well, they're rolling because I started raising hell. You're seeing some of the crime go down supposedly. Yeah, you're seeing some crime go down, but listen, the question is, when is it coming back up? I've always said this, Chief Roper would always say, I'm never going to brag about this crime going down because they're just recalibrating. At the end of the day, nobody from the city of Birmingham last year, 150 people, 51 people died, the most since 1933. Nobody said a word until I started raising hell and that there was a fear that I would be running for mayor. Nobody said a word.
How many people died?
100. I think it's more than that, but they say 150 something, the most record in 1 year in the city of Birmingham. So let me tell you why I decided to run. I was standing by myself. Nobody who is running for this office, no one but me stood up to say enough is enough with the crime. No one. The question is, where have you been? Why were you not talking about the crime? Why were you not standing up to this administration? Why were you not boldly proclaiming that enough is enough with all of this killing, that our streets are dilapidated, that our these houses and streets and they're blighted? Nobody but me. Am I lying, Mike? Nobody but me.
Yeah.
I don't care how you look at it, only me. So it wasn't until September I got a call from the current CEO of the city. And they said to me, I had just broken my foot. This is what happened. I had just left the hospital. I had gotten a shot. Dr. Lee had given me a shot. I had just left Simon Williams.
Okay.
I go in my office. My partner, Reginald McDaniels, owns McDaniels Law. I'm sitting there. He came by to check on me. So we started having a conversation. My phone rang. It was the current administrator for the city. I'm not Joe Biden and you're not Kamala Harris. So I said, what? He said, I'm not Joe Biden and you're not Kamala Harris and I'm not going to Washington. So I said, well, I know Dr. Lee told me that this was going to make me kind of loopy, but I didn't know it was going to do me like this. So finally, he said it again. You're not Joe Biden. Excuse me, I'm not Joe Biden and you're not Kamala Harris. I'm not going to Washington. And at that point, I said, well, maybe he's talking because the Congressional Black Caucus is coming up. So I sat there. And so I was like, finally I said, oh, I raised up this, and I have a witness to this. So if he tries to deny it, he'll be lying. So Reginald McDaniels was sitting right there. Next thing you know, he says, it's my understanding that you're telling people I'm not running for mayor for a third term. I hadn't thought about mayor. Reginald McDaniel knows me better than anybody. We've been together a long time.
Okay.
So he's raising up because at this point he's feeling like you coming from a girl, like my partner, my friend. She works here. So I'm like, I haven't a clue. So finally I said, I don't know who laid that track of whatever I said to him on the table and you decided to snort all of it. I said, but you have to be crazy. And I said some very choice words that you bold enough to call me. You must be crazy. Well, you telling people, I'm not running for mayor and you're going to run. I said, I haven't a clue. I'm serious. That's how I was. So much so.
Wow.
I'm like, this is like really crazy. So finally, I said, first of all, if I were to run, I would tell you out of respect and courtesy. I would call and I would tell you.
Okay.
I said, but I'm not running it. But then it clicked in my head. I said, but if I did decide to run, you ran against your boss. You ran against the man that gave you your first real job with a steady paycheck. Mm-hmm. You ran against the person who thought enough of you to give you a job out of law school, allow you to come back to Birmingham, and you turned your back on him. Not only did you run against him, and this is what I said, this is a conversation that's known by others. I said, not only did you do that, you scandalized this man's name. You videoed all through the city. So this is what I'm saying. You videoed all through the city. You tried to make a mockery of his administration. I said, but if I choose to run, it's my choice. I said, but I was not thinking about it. So I let it go. I wasn't.
So this is how this whole thing transpired.
This is how it all went down. That's how petty. Well, it's a whole lot. See, some people mumble under their breath and give you all the impression that they don't. Oh, no, they are, when I tell you. So long story short, so what happened? A few weeks later, the situation happened with the killing in on the South Side.
South Side, okay.
And I had gone on TV. Now, since May, I had made this comment about the National Guard. The comment was not just a comment made by me. Sheriff Mark Petway called a meeting in May. That was after several other killings. He said, listen, he called a special meeting. It had legislators at that time, Chief Thurman and others, deputy chiefs and assistant chiefs, some of his staff and some legislators.
Right.
He says, listen, I want to call you all in because I do not have enough sworn officers. He said the killing in Birmingham is so great that I don't have enough sworn officers.
Which you don't.
And as deputies. He then says, the reason I'm doing this is because of this. He said, because if anything catastrophic happens, he said he referenced the storm of 2011 that took out Pratt City.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we have to have all the manpower. So how the National Guard came up was that we were sitting there and we said, well, if it got that bad, it would be no differently than it would be or how it was in 2011. If we had to request from the governor the National Guard, we would. That's all we said. And I said that, I don't know how many times I had said it. So fast forward, the Hush Lounge killing, they interviewed me that Sunday. And so that Monday morning, I went live in the studio. WBRC, I said the same thing that I had said, I don't know how many times. I referenced that as a point. So Greg Garrison with AL.com called me. After all the different interviews, he wanted to talk about the story. So instead of him writing as a catastrophic situation, if it occurs, he just wrote the National Guard, and it went viral, and that was not. And he went in and he redacted it in AL.com. But with print media, once it's written.
Yeah.
So, but it had nothing to do with that. So that day there was a meme. He created a board, a scratch board, put me dead center, put all the legislators on there except for one. And then in the middle, he put me, and it said, everybody, all of these legislators support public safety in Jefferson County or whatever, except you. So he put it in red writing, me dead center. Really? So when it was sent to me, one of his friends sent it to me that day when he put it. So that person called and said, look, Givan, I don't know what he's going to do with, now one of his friends did that. I don't know what he's going to do with this. He has been advised to just whatever. So I said, oh, don't worry about it. So my phone started blowing up. And Mike, and I'm going to close it out. My phone started blowing up. So I wasn't worried because I told you every time I go to a street fight, I'm going to have a bet. So I said, no, let him keep it up. So by that time he posted it, I sent him a message. It's on my phone. It says, I like big pictures. The next time you use a picture of me,
use a big one.
Use a big one. Because I'm letting him know, don't come for me. So I went on, and people were calling. I said, no, please let him post what he wants. I said, because I'm going to go and get the collage. I said, but I won't do this person that bad, because guess what? If I thought I really wanted to do it, I was going to pull the collage all the way from 2017, in 2017, all the way up to 2024. I went ahead and used 2022, 2023, and I said 2024 in counting. And I said, this right here is what you need to be concerned with instead of a scratch off. So all of that transpired. We went back and forth. The end of the week, there was a fake apology. It was no apology.
It was a fake one?
Listen, he said, this person said that and I'm going to close it out because I want to bring all the people to what's been going on. So he says that I humbly, I want to apologize because I focused in on forgot about the 99 to focus in with doing the Kobe Bryant lips on the 1%. Make it make sense. Well, who the hell is the 1%? Yeah. So in my mind, this is what I said. Well, I'll be the 1% if I'm going to stand up for what's right. I'll be the 1% that gets stuff done. I'll be the 1% with the most bills of any Democrat in the Alabama House of Representatives currently serving. I'll be the Democrat that can stand up to the foolery that goes on around. I'll be the 1% if it can help save lives. I'll be the 1%. I went into all that because I'm saying to myself, who is the 1%? Make it make sense. So I'm a hell of a 1% because I'm not afraid of him or them.
So, wow.
That's the pettiness. That's the stuff that goes on that y'all don't see.
That
and
we don't
people
get
think that certain people are quiet. No.
I don't think that about you, though. I don't think they think that about you, though.
Yeah, no, because I just tell the truth and I say it like I mean it.
Yeah.
I don't try to, listen, I'm not going to lie on you, for you, to you, or about you. I'm going to speak the truth. And so when people come at me, I'm going to, like I said, I'm not going to sit in the room and be a hypocrite and talk about you and then go and smile in your face. I'm that kind of girl. I don't do that. Everybody can't be that kind of person. Listen, in Montgomery, I'm 5 points. There was a meeting one day. I don't have to 5 points. 5 points on a star. I only need one. That means I don't need to take your shine to help me shine.
I got you.
5 points. Make it make sense.
Now, as it relates to crime in Birmingham, you know, and I read somewhere where it says 46% in the last 5 months. Whether that's true or false, your plan for crime
My plan for crime, listen, I'm glad you asked. I do have a plan for crime. First of all, I'm going to look at the leadership structure for the City of Birmingham Police Department. But the first thing I'm going to say to every Birmingham police officer out there, it is not my role and responsibility to police the Birmingham Police Department. I will not have a culture in which I hire.
Why you say that, though?
Because I will not have a culture or create a culture in which I hire the assistant chief, I hire the deputy chiefs, I promote lieutenants, I promote captains, I promote sergeants. That is not the role of any mayor.
So
you
don't
only
believe
been
in
one. No.
So you don't believe in micromanagement?
It destroys a department. Let me tell you why so many people started leaving the City of Birmingham Police Department. We represent officers. I have dated an officer. I have friends that are officers who share. Listen, at the end of the day, you cannot destroy, or you will destroy, the morale of a department when you are a able-bound law enforcement officer who has been there, who has moved up through the ranks, who has worked themselves up through the rank and file, only for someone to be brought in over your head who has never, ever supervised anyone. You move someone from being a sergeant, you promote someone to being a sergeant, they never supervise. A lieutenant, they never supervise. They skip captain, then they become a deputy chief, and the rest is history. That destroys morale. That is why you see where in the last, since 2017, you go from roughly 1,300 law enforcement officers to the time you get to 2021, you're at 8-something. From 8-something, you're now down to 300 and something officers. So every year you're losing somewhere between 100 officers, somewhere between 80 to 100 officers.
Which is a lot.
That's a whole lot. And now Birmingham only has 300 and something plus sworn law enforcement officers to police 190 something thousand people. Lastly, why is that important? Although we are now number 4, we still have 190 something thousand people. When I say number 4, Birmingham is no longer number 1. That's another reason I ran, because the people have fled the city of Birmingham. So I don't care what the reason is or when it happened. At the beginning of the census tract and when it closes, the number that they have will be the number.
Yes.
The realization is we're also capturing every year the numbers that are coming in every year. So Birmingham was number 1 in population. We're now number 4 behind, get this, Huntsville.
Yeah, Huntsville number 1.
And Montgomery. That means the money that's going to come from the federal government goes to Huntsville first, Mobile, and Montgomery.
Wow, I didn't think. I thought Birmingham was number 2.
No, Birmingham is number 4. And listen, eventually, if we don't do something soon, listen, and then losing the water makes it even worse.
Girl, we're going to talk about that.
Because
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that because I'm going to show you why the water becomes so important. That's how we were able to annex.
Yeah,
because we control and we were the municipal controlling
Since
authority.
we there, man. So because that's one of my questions. Like, what happened to the water? What's going on with the water?
Let me tell you what happened to the water. And listen, I'm not here to beat anyone down, but I'm gonna tell the truth.
We got to talk about these things. This is
the water. Listen, there were several things. I'm not gonna lie. I cannot sit here and say, okay, well, there was not cause for a concern. And all of us agree, Republican and Democrat alike, there's no way that you can say there was absolutely nothing wrong at the Waterworks Board.
Okay.
Nobody can say that. It's just no way. You had a meter system put in place. The people were not properly trained. That was number 1. So that's one of the reasons why you started seeing so many bills. Bills went from $50 all the way up to $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
And those folks did not have the training necessary, and the Waterworks Board did not, within a timely manner, take corrective actions. Also, there has been an attempt for over 30-something years to take control of the Waterworks Board. It has been a constant battle. Why? What does that mean? You got to stay on top of it. Every mayor in the last modern years has had that fight. Yeah. So if they came for you, they're going to come for me. The bottom line is you have to be diligent in what you do. And for those who are at these forums standing up talking about this stuff that they really don't know anything about, and then they go out and I just sit there You can't tell me anything about the legislature, just like I'm not going to try to tell you about A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. At the end of the day, the reason I can talk about the city of Birmingham is because I worked for multiple mayors. I also not only worked for multiple mayors, I worked there in a department. So at the end of the day, that experience level is a little different. But back to the water. Birmingham did not own the water, but they were the controlling municipal authority. The reason the state could do what they did by way of a legislative act is because the law allows it under Title 11. And Birmingham, there is an exception because any water authority is public, number one, anything public. I know people flock down to the city and this, that, and other, but the legislature controls the Mayor Council Act. We can go in the morning if we were in session and say we no longer wanted a Mayor Council form of government. We no longer wanted a county commission form of government. We could do that. So the water is important and was important. Why? That's how we annexed the area along 280. That's why there's a summit. That's why we were able to annex out properties around Spain Park.
Wow.
People don't, and that's why I said people need to learn their civics lesson because a lot of this stuff that they're coming at me about, they really need to go back and
take a civics class.
Get some civics or something. But the realization is
that is serious though that
water,
you make that statement because I mean we can say a lot of different things, but when we saying things without knowledge and understanding of them, it can be very...
And that's the thing. Stop reading the caption and read the story. And then stop trying to go out and assassinate someone. Because, listen, the realization is when they do it to me, I say, listen, did we lose control of the water?
Yeah, we definitely did.
We definitely did. Should we have? No, we should not for whatever reason. But we did.
And the vote was 5-2.
Listen.
Inside the council.
Listen, at the end of the day, and then not only that, even with all of those attempts to give the appearance, see, those Tuesday press conferences are very dangerous in City Hall because that's the attempt of someone to make you all believe that they are doing certain things. That's their Hail Mary. That's why you see all these presses, just like when McDaniels, the young man, and when they finally revealed that he was the murderer. Well, we already knew that. And you hold a press conference a day after the ABC 3340. There's several law enforcement officers that talk about how sick and tired they are of the police department and that they're overworked and they can't go on much longer. And then you have a Hail Mary, all that kind of foolery. There are just so many things that take place that happens to try to make certain ones look good. And it's just so misleading to the public. But people buy into it. So if they buy into it, hey, put the coin out there so they can get it.
Jesus Christ. Now, man, you giving me a lot. Homelessness.
It's terrible.
You talk about that, and here's the thing. My understanding, I think you call this thing Friends in Transition.
It's Friends in Transition. I do have a plan. And I would like for you to note, I have a plan for everything because I know how to govern. And at the end of the day, I'm going to make the people and the citizens of Birmingham a priority. We've got to clean up. We must clean up this homeless crisis. It is getting so far out of control.
So how do you clean up? Because a part of it is mental health.
Listen, no, it is mental health, but you have to clean it up by being a city that these people know that someone's going to be tough on homelessness. We are beyond the point because now folks say, well, Birmingham, this is what they say. Birmingham is like a country with no president. In other words, they have a sale. These people know, just like with anything else, well, I can go to Birmingham because nobody's going to bother me. I go out here and talk to these homeless people. And these people come from all over. They're not there. They come here. Some of them come out of prison. They hitch rides here because they know the life.
It's almost like a safe haven.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It is a safe haven. It's a sanctuary city for them. And it is becoming such a sanctuary city. It's going to be no differently than the killing for 8 years. I'm calling the CEO. Listen, I want you to succeed. I've always wanted you to succeed. Listen, you have to get a handle on the crime. This 8 years, Mike.
Yeah, 8 years ago.
8 years up until the end of 23. I'm calling. Listen, you have too many sworn officers leaving. Does that sound like somebody that want to hurt somebody, or are you trying to help them? You gotta get a handle on the crime. You got to stop going back and forth. You need to stop making these appointments. You need to stop doing these promotions. The morale is too low.
Well, crime is everything in the city, though.
It's everything. And the thing about it, though, the homeless crisis is no different than me begging for 8 years. Please stop it, because now it is so out of control. I was at a meeting the other day, and this gentleman said that they literally have to almost now get brooms to beat the squatters off. You're now going to see where I went to an event Saturday. Reverend Wayne Taft had an event. His church received a grant, and it's dealing with Narcan.
Yeah, Narcan. I saw that video.
Yes, and that is going to become very critical because the influx of the homeless people in our neighborhoods is so great. It is so great.
And a lot of them on drugs, too.
And a lot of them are on drugs. A lot
specific
of
drugs. Let's make that because drugs that need Narcan is drugs like fentanyl and
that's right.
and heroin.
And heroin. They are serious. Listen, and this issue, even with the prostitution, the street walkers, it is so grave that it is going to be beyond control. And if we do not go ahead on and stop it, listen, it is now a Class C misdemeanor to loiter, to squat.
Yeah.
So there's no reason Birmingham police cannot pick these people up and do something with them. But the question is, where do they go?
Yeah,
where do they go now?
That's other issue.
And why are we sending our money out?
And do they want treatment? Do they want help?
And let me tell you what. And so even from the video I posted last week, I talked with several women. Listen, we help certain people who pass our office. We give them money out of our own pockets.
To do what?
Listen, I can't say that, but several of them we have come to know, and we want to look out. We try our best to be nice. So when people were criticizing me last week, listen, how many of them would every day walk out and help somebody? Because you don't know what I do for the homeless.
Yeah.
You don't know how much money I give to those that are in need. You don't know how I look out for people. But what I do know is this: we can no longer have our churches. The Victory Fellowship, Victory, right over there, not too far from 2nd Avenue, 3rd Avenue, somewhere between 4th and 5th. I can't remember the street. These people constantly having to clean defecation off the steps.
That's bad.
That's
right.
I had a pastor preacher at 23rd Street yesterday called me to tell me they've had these big planters all of these years. Planters, they done pick the planters and just listen. You have pastor preachers now that are they're equipping themselves with guns. Pastor Warren. It was so interesting.
So it's becoming that unsafe.
It's that unsafe. And just so happened last Sunday before last, he was shutting down. The church was over. He just so happened heard some click on the door. Well, he thought it was one of the trustees or deacons maybe coming back in.
They were coming to get in the church.
The gentleman was in the church. He had to end up calling the police, but he didn't have his gun on him at the time because it was in his office. Thank God, because that's what he said. He said, Juandalynn, I could have killed this young man. Yeah. But the long story short,
he was homeless, no place to go.
No, the homeless shelter is right there, a block over. You can see it from his shop. It's just that it's getting so prevalent.
Yeah.
So that's how scary it is. So it's not me mocking anyone. I'm not mocking anyone.
Yeah. The video, I didn't even see the video, but it was brought to my attention. People bring it to my attention too. But at the end of the day, what I'm realizing from a transplant coming back to Birmingham, I have never seen so many homeless people.
It is so
in
bad.
The state of Birmingham. In the city of Birmingham.
I came here, and the first thing I said to Alonzo, who was driving me, I said, "Listen, we just passed by this service station over here in Hoover. Not one homeless person.
Yeah.
Not one car waiting around the corner to pick somebody up.
Yeah.
Listen, around the street from where the district attorney's home house is, a few weeks ago, a young lady was back there in the open, didn't care that they were videoing her, having sex out in the open, did not care. Listen, those are things that people seniors should not be subject to.
With kids too.
Yes, and then they make the argument about the video. I took the video down, and I want to be clear as to why I took that video down. I took the video down because of the fact of some, because it was sensitive to some, but not necessarily because of, I took it down because of those issues.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
I got
make
you.
it make sense. So at the end of
Make
the
it
day,
make sense.
we got to make sure though that people, yeah.
So, wow. So your plan for homelessness is?
It's Friends in Transition. My plan is simple. I'm going to work. First of all, I'm going to engage social service agencies here.
Yeah.
I'm going to also go to organizations. I'm going to reach out to Reverend Taft and his church. But let me just tell you what I'm also going to do. I am going to engage these churches. I don't care who you are or what it is. At the end of the day, if you won't change, if you work with the religious organizations, we have all of these churches that are sitting around here closed Monday through Sunday.
Yeah.
They don't even really necessarily have prayer meeting in person anymore. You have certain churches who have gymnasiums, they have family life centers, things of that nature. I'd rather put and engage the church to assist with a lot of these issues, put that money in their pocket. But not only that, to engage with social service agencies here that are local. But we also are going to have to build a shelter. It's going to have to be a shelter big enough. We can retrofit it however you want to do it, but we're going to have to figure something out. The homeless laying out at the Boutwell through the whole winter, out in the cold, like sardines. Like, I mean, it was ridiculous. So that will be the thing. We will address the issue of those who have been in the military. We will address sexual abuse, drug abuse. But what we will also do is we're going to get these folks out of the community. And I want the people who are still listening to hear one thing. Why is this homeless crisis so bad?
Great question.
The reason why now is because it's leaving from downtown and it is permeated all throughout the neighborhoods and the communities. That is very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
You don't see that in most places. That is why it is such an issue. You cannot have everybody. That means everybody and anybody can live next to your mother, live next to your children, your grandchildren, live next to you. They're squatting in these houses. I went and did a live a few weeks ago. This lady had me to come out and she said, Ms. Givan, I'm so sick. She said it took forever to get these squatters
that's sad.
out of my house, out of the house next door.
That's sad. And you know, I'm a mental health counselor, so I understand that there's a level of mental health with some of our guys that are homeless, but it is an issue. When you have such homelessness in a city, it makes the city unattractive. It makes people.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Why is it acceptable in our neighborhoods? Even the people who were ragging me
in our neighborhoods,
not
in other neighborhoods.
And then somebody did make mention. Of course, the poor will be with you always. Like I said, I give all the time to the needy. I give clothes, I give my money, I give food, I do it all. But
we're not saying we shouldn't support them in some way.
But they cannot continue to inundate the areas in which people are homeowners or they live, all for the sake of their illegal drug activity, for prostitution, for all. I mean, it is like
either they go to jail. I mean, I'm saying this is me talking. Now it's not you. The way I see it, as a mental health counselor and a drug alcohol counselor, either you get the help that you deserve and understand that this is an issue and you need the help, or you go to jail.
You gotta get out the streets.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And this is not you talking, Ms. Givan. This is me talking as a mental health counselor and a drug and alcohol counselor.
Absolutely.
Which I worked so many years as. And I'm a big advocate for that, you know. And also when we talk about seeking the treatment and the help that you need, either you get the help that you need or you don't. And we can't be what's the word I'm looking for? Hold on. You see this all the time in family members. Codependency.
Codependence.
Yeah, we can't be codependent
not
in
only
the
that,
issue.
our kids. Do
Yeah.
you understand? Listen, what we are running the risk of right now, you have some men that are in these neighborhoods. Oh my God, that I see every day in these neighborhoods that you don't want squatting in houses next door to your parents.
Well, they shouldn't even be there. Some of these people with a criminal record that they have.
Why is it acceptable in Inslee? Why is it acceptable in North Birmingham?
But
West
you don't
End?
see this stuff in other communities.
Do not listen. Had those the
I
video
gotta
I
agree
did
with
of
you.
those women, had that was first of all, you're not gonna see it in Hoover or Homewood, because if you look like you do not belong in those places,
they're gonna
call
putting
the
a blue
police
light on you
right then.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, well, you filmed no, listen, these are women who
I didn't see the film.
It was a collage. Listen, I had filmed the video. I have so much footage because I filmed it also because there were those at the city to say there wasn't a problem with prostitution. Well, first of all, then someone argued, well, you are defaming their character. No, prostitution is illegal. That is why when you see on TV, when they're doing those ICE raids, you notice they never shadow the face of the person for which they're doing the raid on. They will shadow the person who's trying to intervene, but not because they're considered to be illegal. Prostitution is illegal. As far as the last time I checked. And I have represented a whole lot of prostitutes.
You know prostitution. you know it's illegal. Yeah. You know it's illegal. Why do you think that you rub people the wrong way? Do you think you rub people the wrong way?
I don't know why I think I don't know why they think I rub them the wrong way, because I'm just a straight shooter.
Yeah. Do you think
being the biggest heart? I have the biggest heart. I have the biggest heart that you could even imagine. I will fight a fly at midnight for you.
Yeah.
But I do not play. I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not going to speak in your face and then talk about you. If I say it, if somebody says Juandalynn said it, call me.
Yeah.
Yeah. These people, I have people right now. This one girl that ran for the seat that I have now currently for House District 60. I beat this young lady by 80-some% of the vote. This woman and this other guy out here, they have these people that I've only I don't even know if I've ever had a conversation with them. And if I did, it is like real small, like just in passing, just pleasantries.
Right.
I don't know why. You would have to ask some of these folks, because nobody can tell you I did anything wrong to them. Right. I haven't a clue. I don't know.
Right.
First of all, running for mayor. First of all, most of the people who are fanatics right now, they are those people who have been able to, I guess, rub elbows, rub shoulders. They're in this group, this clique. Running for office is not a rite of passage. Running for office doesn't mean you are in the office and you keep it. The current CEO ran on a ticket in 2017 that they did not believe that no one should have more than 2 terms.
That's what they thought.
That was what was said.
Yeah.
So why do you want a 3rd term? Now make it make sense.
No.
I could see if Birmingham was so great. I could see if we had addressed the homeless crisis. I could see if we had not had over 1,000 people to die in the last 8 years almost. All of these things are factual. That means 1,000 mothers on this past Mother's Day, if they're still living, did not have their babies. That means 1,000 fathers, if they are still living, did not have their children. Grandmothers, great-grandmothers, sisters, brothers, cousins, aunties, Pookie, Kiki, Ray, and May. At the end of the day, people love their children.
Definitely.
So just like you think this person is good looking, as folks say, every mother who's ever looked at their child dead in a casket thought that their baby was good looking, thought their baby was fine, cried out. And why did I run? You asked me that. I decided to run because I could hear the voices of mothers yelling, that's my baby.
Yeah.
That's my child. And as I've said, it doesn't matter how bad a person is. I don't care who's been killed. That's still somebody's child. But for those who are running, how many times did they call Clifford Tony? and asked Clifford Tony at Integrity to help bury somebody? How many times have they said or sought to help to get clothes for someone in need that was going to be buried? How many times did they step in? So for all of those folks who are running out here, first of all, most of them are running on personal vendettas. I'm not running on a personal vendetta. I'm not running on the fact that I was associated or friends with the mayor or in association with the mayor. I'm not doing that, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not running because the relationship disintegrated. I'm not running because of that. I'm running because I have a belief that Birmingham is better than where it is, and it cannot go into 4 more years the way it has gone the past 8 years. I have a brother that is almost around the same age of the current CEO of the city. Same thing I would say to him, and he would say this to you. I do not play. Right is right, wrong is wrong. I don't care who it is.
We got a long road ahead of us.
I think we have a long road, but I think, first of all, Birmingham, I will say this. Birmingham has tried every kind of man in the world. Birmingham has, serious, white man, bald man, old man, short man, tall man, light man, dark-skinned man, all of it.
No female.
No female has been elected.
Right.
Y'all have tried everything. They have tried everything, Mike. Yeah. Y'all have tried everything in the world. Everybody has been the great white hope, but a woman. And for those women who are out there, instead of supporting me, you're dogging me. Yeah. Instead of supporting me, you're dragging me. Yeah. Instead of lifting me up, you're trying to take me under. And I am trying to figure out why. I don't even know these women.
Why do you think some of these women that we know about?
Clue. Yeah. Listen, I have been around this politics a long time.
Yeah. 15,
you don't see this
I know in the House you've been.
You don't see this in other states, not like this.
Yeah.
You don't see this kind of commentary like this. A woman called me from California. This is a true story.
California.
California. Did you hear me? Called me from California to say to me that they had been, when they did the meme and called me Miss Woodbine off of P Valley.
I did that too.
Petty.
They just do it.
But every time they do something,
God bless y'all.
God bless me. So every time they call me, listen, folks be like, "Girl, they said something about you on this." I be saying, "Thank you, Jesus."
Yeah, no, you know you're gonna get a blessing.
Mike, I be saying, "Thank you." Every time they call my name, I said, "Thank you, Jesus." Every time they write a message, I said, "Thank you, Jesus."
Because you know you're gonna get a blessing.
Every time they tell me I need to do something for Forestdale, I'm not the county commissioner. Forestdale.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that was a question I had.
Forestdale is unincorporated. That's why I say, get your civics book.
Oh, it's not incorporated.
It's unincorporated.
So it's under the county.
It's in the county. I am a legislator. As a legislator, I have 2 roles: to pass an education trust fund budget. And to pass a general fund budget. And the law says that I can pass laws. And to advocate, that's my choice. I can't usurp the authority of a county commissioner or the mayor. I can make suggestions. It's not for me to bring economic development to Forestdale. That's not my role.
That means you're doing 2 jobs,
Listen,
2 or 3 jobs.
I can't do that. When these folks come on here, you haven't done anything for Forestdale.
Some people just don't know, man. That's bad.
Listen, this one girl wrote me last week when all of this stuff was going on. She said, "You haven't done any." Ma'am, I just gave mine a high school, $40-some thousand? Make it make sense. You telling me I haven't done anything for District 6? I gave J.O. $40,000. Make it make sense. I'm giving money and doing things that when other people aren't doing it. And then it hit me. I said, "Well, ma'am, I have never seen you at a neighborhood meeting anywhere. Make it make sense."
They talk about you, huh?
They talk about me. I'm saying to myself, Jesus, I need y'all to stop it. And then somebody made mention of the school board. Listen, one of my good friends who's also my soror was on the Birmingham school board. Listen, you work with people who try to stop democracy, who want to have meetings where the public can't speak, where the people can't be heard. I'm going to have an open door policy. Fridays, every Friday, just like Larry Langford, you're going to come in there from sun up to sundown. We're going to have a casual day Friday, but the staff going to be there. We're going to make it work. We're going to make it happen. We're going to create better neighborhood programs. My program is going to be NAP, the Neighborhood Advisory Participation Program. Neighborhood. So I'm changing that name to just participation. We're going to have a NAP program. We're going to empower these neighborhoods. We're going to restore that $10,000. You mean to tell me we can't find $1.5 million and give to the neighborhood associations? We stripped them down, or they were stripped down from $10,000 to $2,000 to try to maintain, to have. If they choose fun days, let them choose it. And not only that, we're going to support the Unity Breakfast in Birmingham, just as we always did. Well, this administration is on record for saying they don't support the Unity Breakfast. How can you not support the Martin Luther King Day Unity Breakfast to ensure, even if someone was late getting some in, we make it happen. We can override whatever we want to override. But you don't support the Martin Luther King Unity. These are things that's publicly said. We need to restore and empower our 99 neighborhoods. And listen.
How many communities?
My team worked at Crestwood area last week. My team members came back and said, look, man, I had never been up in here in this area. This is what they said.
Wow.
They said, oh my God, I can't believe how nice it is.
Jesus.
How clean it is. And you go one street over, it's like a war zone. So for people who say, well, there's been so many improvements, like I had a friend that lived in Forest Park. When they said that to me, I said, well, when the last time you've been to Roosevelt City? When is the last time you've been to Ensley, Gracilla Heights? When is the last time you've gone to the east side, East Lake? East Lake is a prison right now. Those people are living in bondage in whatever, with the barriers, barricades.
Yeah, they got some roads you can't go down.
It is so dangerous.
Is that a prison coming through there? Or a halfway house or something on the
listen.
It's something on the left that's got barbed wire, and I was just driving through there.
Make sense.
And I was like, is a halfway house or a
people
prison
are losing money? They're losing money,
but it looks bad.
It's terrible. People are losing money because
that street division, you can't go in the division.
You can't even go. It's pitiful, and that is only, to tell the truth, the reason that was employed is because there's not enough sworn officers. So you're trying to combat crime in your own way because you don't have the proper law enforcement officers to
represent it.
Listen, I talk to law enforcement officers all the time. They talk about their mental health. They talk about being overlooked for promotions. What is my plan for the Birmingham Police Department?
Good.
We touched on that.
Asked.
You asked about that.
Yeah, I did.
My plan is going to be a plan of inclusion. If ever, and I want to be clear, if there is ever a time that if I am mayor and it is time for me to consider a chief, whether this chief stays or not, or if they should go, my promise to the Birmingham police officers is this. My plan will be, I get a pick, the ones that are in the FOP get a pick, and the ones that are non-FOP, because not everybody is in the Fraternal Order of Police.
Yeah.
And then there will be one other pick. And wherever we land, you get a pick, non-FOP, FOP, and possibly one other. And we will hatch it out, and we will come up with a plan of action, and whoever pick wins. That's how we're going to do it. Then no one will be able to say, I didn't have a voice in the process. Because at this point, I'm looking for officers that are going to there will be a buy-in. A, I'm going to respect them. B, I'm not going to promote over their heads those who are more deserving than others. C, we will have a process in which we will work together. But then there is one more. I am going to demand and expect excellence out of everybody. If I stand up for you, I want you to stand up for me. And I believe there's a buy-in because I have officers calling me every day to tell me, Givan, hey, if you get in there, we're going to work for you. We're going to back you. We're going to support you. You know how that make me feel?
Yeah, it feels good.
I get letters from parents who express their sentiments to me because their kids, these are still their children. I don't care if you're 25, 26, 27 years old. They're still somebody, baby, who talk about how afraid they are for their children. So there's going to be a buy-in. And then what I am not going to do, I am not going to promote over the heads of these officers. And I'm going to also, not only there, I'm going to ensure that we're going to look out for women, but not only women in the police department, I'm going to hire more women department heads. I'm going to hire more female department heads at City Hall. Someone or one or two on my top cabinet will be female. You can rest assured of that. I am going to do just that. And I'm going to create an office of faith-based initiatives. We need the church. This is the only administration that does not have a close tie to especially in the Baptist Association, to those churches and pastor preachers. For whatever reason, hurt feelings transpired some years ago when they were running. I have nothing to do with that. But at the end of the day, you cannot have an urban city where there's not a strong tie to the ministerial alliance and brotherhood. You must. And so I'm going to work on trying to create a division for that, because again, we need these churches.
Yeah, definitely do. So look in the camera, please. Why people should vote for you?
Why should they
You're
vote
so
for
fast.
me? I'm fast because I know myself.
Yeah.
I'm fast because I'm confident. I wanted to add one thing before I get to that.
Go ahead.
Our kids. We're going to put some programs in place. I am going to create a youth council where I'm going to have a youth deputy mayor under me. And we're going to have a meeting. And we're going to meet once or twice a month. And every time I'm sitting down at that table with those young folks, I want the young people to tell me what they want. I want to hear from them. And we're going to restore the department and division of youth services. Why? People say our children are bad here. No, it's not that our children are so bad. Tell me what they're
I don't think no different than other kids.
What do they have to do? What do the kids in Pratt have to do? Tell me what they have to do.
Nothing.
What do the kids in North Birmingham have to do? Look at the community centers. Even the swimming pools are not 100% back open yet. Well, it's almost the 4th of July, and everybody know for all intents and purposes after the 4th of July, summer is almost over. In 3 weeks, you'll be having the back to school rallies.
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong?
No, you're right about that.
Make it make sense. Yeah. But why me? Why me? Why not me? The first question is, why not me?
Okay.
Why can't my level of intellect be just as important as someone else's or just as big as someone else's? Why not give me a chance? Listen, Fred Shuttlesworth was my godfather. Yeah. I spoke at his funeral. Somebody gave a Fred Shuttlesworth award out to somebody who had never fought for anybody. That's not an award that you just give away. I fought for people. Even though there are jabs at me all the time, I fought for many of people. So much so that a station out of Atlanta came here a few weeks ago and interviewed me because of my work on Brookside. I was named by the Reason Foundation last year Legislator of the Year. I have been named Legislator of the Year by the National Black Caucus of State Legislators. Not only the National Black Caucus of State Legislators, but others. So as well as the National Organization of Black Elected Legislative Women. Now,
come on now.
I went and was invited to speak at Vice President Kamala Harris's house. I just didn't publicize, but it went viral. It was in the news. And not only that, if I'm such a bad person, would this woman have asked me
to come speak?
Not only to speak, but during the election cycle, the last 3 stops was Allen, Pennsylvania, Rushing, and then Philadelphia. I thought, I got a call. We need you to get to the airport. There's a car waiting, da-da-da-da-da. You're going to be gone for 2 days. Don't worry about it. Just get your bag. Let's go. I'm thinking I'm doing souls to the polls. They are like, no, you're it. Tag. You're going to speak on behalf of Kamala Harris. Now, if I was someone who didn't have any sense, do you think that this woman's cabinet would have entrusted me to speak on her behalf in Allentown? I had never gone to Allentown, Pennsylvania. And it was an honor then, and it's an honor now. Absolutely. So at the end of the day, why me? The question is, why not me? I'm just as intelligent. I'm just as bright. I'm just as beautiful. I'm just as smart. I am intuitive, just like the other person. And I have some hell of ideas. And not only that, I have something that even to this day, I can say I have served as an administrator. I have supervised over others. I have managed others. The city of Birmingham 8 years ago turned the key to the biggest city at that time in the state of Alabama over to someone who had never supervised, who had never really had a real job other than the job they were on, and said, okay, we're so tired of William Bell. The other person who was running didn't do so well. Anybody. This is not a job that you just throw the key to anybody. This is a job that requires big thoughts, big responsibility. You have to keep your eyes open. You have to pay attention. It's not all about trying to sugarcoat it or slide things under the rug so the truth can't be revealed. It's about the all actualities. And I close with this, Mike. For those of you all who love what you have, keep it. I'm going to be good. If I win on August the 26th, I'm fine.
Yeah.
If I lose August the 26th, I'm fine because I will have tried.
That's right.
It's politics. It's democracy. When democracy speaks, you go on.
That's right.
All I can do is try. But the only thing I want to say is this. If you like what you have and you love it, love is what love does. Because my mama always taught me, if somebody loves you, they'll take care of you.
Yeah.
They'll clean you up if you're dirty.
That's right.
They'll fix you up if you're broken down.
Okay.
Right now we have houses broke down all over the city of Birmingham. Nobody's fixing them up. They're not cutting your grass. They're not picking up enough of the paper.
Jesus.
Okay, make it make sense. Potholes everywhere. Ragged streets everywhere. That doesn't sound like love. Love is what love does. So, in the words of Larry, like if you always do what you always get done, you're gonna always get what you always got. 0 from 0 leaves 0. I don't care how you look at it. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Make it make sense, everybody. I close with this fact. Are the streets ragged? Facts. Are there potholes everywhere? Facts. Is there paper all over throughout Birmingham dumping posts? Facts. Is the street department down, a public works department down by over 500 and some employees? Facts. Does Birmingham Police Department have less than 400 plus sworn officers? Fact. What's last year the highest record on to date for murder in deadly crimes in Birmingham? Facts.
Yeah.
Has over 1,000 people died in the last 8 years? Facts. Make it make sense. Do our neighborhoods look like uptown, downtown, and the south side? Facts. No, they do not. Make it make sense. We are still coming.
Make it make sense, fellas, ladies, gentlemen, people, kids, everybody. Make it make sense. You've been listening to, man. You've been listening to State Representative and Mayoral candidate Juandalynn Givan. God, girl, you gave me a lot to chew on.
Well, I'm glad. I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna put it.
But for someone that don't live in Birmingham but live in Hoover, somebody that's not from the state of Alabama, I can understand exactly what you're talking about because I see things too. I'm here with you, and I see the things that you're talking about needs improvement.
It's access. And for those who are in denial, like a lot of the folks that come on the radio, they are associated with this administration. They are associated with someone again, I know all of the tricks of the trade. If I'm seeing people that I've never, ever met in my life and who are taking me from one signpost to another, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I don't even know these people. And so in my mind, I'm saying these are some whack jobs, some psychos.
Some whack jobs.
So listen, they are like a Lifetime movie network character. Because I'm sitting up there saying to myself, y'all must be crazy if you all are literally sitting up here saying it's okay for our streets to look the way they look, all because you are associated or have access to someone. It doesn't make sense. My mother always said, if you right, you're right. If you wrong, you're wrong. Right don't wrong nobody. Right does not wrong anybody. At the end of the day, Mama Pat, and everybody has a mama. I love my mama. But my mama is my mama. But one thing about Mama Pat gonna tell you if it ain't right.
Mama Pat.
I don't care. It doesn't matter how great it is or it is thought to be. If it's not right, and if I'm not right, my mother's gonna say to me like, Lee, you need to And once she says that, whether I like it or not, I just go ahead on. But at the end of the day, I am who I am. Listen, I don't have a silver spoon in my mouth. I don't have a job where somebody gave me a job and I moved up through the corporate ranks.
Absolutely.
Everything I've had to work for it.
Gotcha. Now, Lily, before I let you go, man, I'm going to run down these fast questions and we're going to get out of here. These questions that I ask at the end of the interview, and these questions are kind of fun fact questions, and I like to have fun with my guests, and we've been talking real seriously about your campaign and the things that will make you a great candidate. But I just want to lighten the load a little bit and get out of here. So, when you're not working, Lily, what is your favorite thing to do?
Oh, Lord, when I'm not...
Because it seems like you're working a lot.
I'm working.
You're a lawyer.
I'm working a
you're
lot
a representative
now.
And you're running for mayor.
Listen, make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
You know what I like to do? When I'm not working, I like to be able to sit at home in quiet, watch investigative discovery TV, IDTV.
Okay.
And I watch Dateline as well as 48 Hours. That's it. I don't have to travel right now because I have traveled so much.
Okay.
I just like to have some moments where it's just quiet and peace. And that's what I like.
Absolutely. So, you saw me right. All right. So, if you had superpowers, if you possess superpowers or a superpower, what would it be and why?
Well, if I had superpowers, my superpower would be to be able to leap like Superman.
Okay.
And let me tell you why.
Go ahead. I want to know why.
I'm always running late, so I would like to be able to get to where I need to get to on time. To try to save
what they call
myself
in a simple bounce,
like a locomotive or something. I would like. Now, seriously, it's a lot of powers I wish I had, but that right there,
just leap.
If I could just leap and get there on time, that would be it for me.
Gotcha.
I mean, because I pray to God, listen, I am covered. God covers me. God keeps me. I do know I am covered. And I know that I have that extra covering in favor.
Right.
Favor's not fair, but it's fabulous. But yeah, everything else will fall in line. But if I could do that, I would.
Now the hairdo. Who keep the dude tight? Somebody keep the dude tight.
Listen, I get so many. My hair has been one of the biggest.
Your hair and your glasses.
My hair. I'm a glass person. Glasses. I love my frames. I cannot see a lick. If I take these off right now, I cannot see.
So all your frames got Medicaid.
Every
wow.
Every one of
That's
them.
That's an investment.
Every one. I don't have a choice. Everyone has a prescription. You want to try them?
No.
Yeah, everyone. And then you see how big the font is on my phone. Is this big? So no, every pair of glasses has a prescription. But glasses can also be fashionable.
Oh, well, you made the fashion statement with them.
And so a lot of times, even when I'm on the news, people will call and say they want to know my glasses as well as the color lipstick. At first, when I started wearing the pink, it was such a criticism. But now everywhere you go, sisters and dark-skinned sisters are wearing pink lipsticks. There are women who come up to me and say, Miss Givan, I want to show you something. I look
got that pink stick.
A tube of pink lipstick. Be who you are.
Yeah.
That's the thing about me.
And embrace who you are.
I'm going to embrace who I am. I've gotten too old to not be who
Absolutely.
I am. And so I'm going to be me. So the glasses and the pink lipstick.
Gotcha. What is your biggest pet peeve? If you had one pet peeve, what would it be?
Believe it or not, I don't like noise. You very seldomly ever hear my phone ring. I don't like noise. I keep the phone, the noise down as much as I can.
When you're working?
I'll have a radio on in my office, but I don't like to hear like exterior noises.
I got you.
And chatter. And I don't like when people talk on speakerphone and all of that. I can't. That's a pet peeve for me. That's just me. But that's it. I don't like a lot of noise.
Okay. And what is one of your deepest regrets?
Ooh, I don't really have, that's crazy. I don't really have a lot of deep regrets because everything in life I've wanted to do, I've done. I don't live a life in regret because things happen And I had to get to a point in life where if something goes on, if it's good, if it's bad, I've got to deal with it. And I always have to remember God will not allow me to fall any farther than he can catch me. So if I had to have one regret, because I try my best. Usually if I've hurt somebody, I try my best. I feel like.
So when you hurt somebody, you go back and try to make it right. I try
to make it right some kind of way. Or sometimes I allow the person. Sometimes you just go into somebody right off. It's not always the best. And sometimes you allow time to heal. And if you do that, time will heal wounds. But I will say this about that. I want to close with that. I was out campaigning a few weeks ago. This is a true story. This gentleman told me he's been mad at me since 2000 and like 14. I didn't even know the man. He said he was mad at me about a piece of legislation that I sponsored. And when I sat down, I said, sir, I vaguely remembered it. So I always tell people, go to people. Stop walking around here mad, harboring,
I got to agree with you,
fostering bitterness. So I don't have any real regrets. I think the only regret that I would say that if I had to have one is that I don't even regret not being married, never being married.
That time coming, ain't it?
Part of me cutting my hair. I do have that regret because I cut it under pressure because of all of the pressure from people that are out there. You know, your hair, they didn't like my hairstyle. They didn't like the mohawk style I was wearing. I was wearing it braided on the side because I was growing it out.
Yeah.
So I succumbed to pressure. So for me, my biggest regret would be any time that I would succumb to pressure from others to fit in their mold. I'm going to be me. And that's why even down to my hair color. Listen.
And that regret probably come because you want to be, you are you, and you allowed yourself to come.
Yeah, I really did. I felt bad because I was like, my God,
how could I do that?
How could I do that? Why did I allow someone else's opinion of me to change who I was when I wasn't ready for that change? And that was it. So,
makes sense.
Next question. You got one more?
Yeah, I got one more.
Okay.
What is your favorite brand? Like, like designer brand?
Ooh, now, listen, I am a brand person in my own way, but I also wear a lot of off brands, but I wear particular off brands. I love Gucci. I'm a Gucci person. Oh man, he done held up. Why did you get my shoe?
Y'all see these shoes?
I love.
Hey, these things tight work now. Look at.
Oh yeah, I do.
I just wanted to show you the Gucci shoes.
I do. I love Gucci. I love Yves Saint Laurent.
Okay.
As far as brands. Those are some of the brands. I've never been big on St. John. St. John just never looked good on me. I'm not a knit kind of girl. Every now and then I wear a St. John piece, but as far as just a formal St. John, which it was at one time, if you're in office, you have to wear. No, I'm not going to wear St. John. I wear what I like. And I wear things that I like to wear. But let me just tell you about that because people call me about my style all the time.
Okay.
I have an eclectic mix. I've decided as I've gotten older, I want to wear what I want to wear that makes me feel good. And so for me, I love a more fitted dress. I like a little bit more form-fitted dress. That's for me and my body type. But for the most part, I prefer this brand called Noctune. I buy it oftentimes from Macy's. So it's just several other brands, but those are typically the brands. I love a Levi jean. That's still my favorite to this day. Levi jeans is my favorite.
That's a good throwback too.
And I'm gonna tell you another one that's coming back. Wrangler is coming back.
Yeah, I got a couple pair of Wranglers too.
Yeah, Wranglers is coming. Wranglers is coming back. I love polo sweaters,
and they're comfortable too.
Yeah, but for me, what people don't know as we close out on the fashion, I wear a uniform every day. If I'm not in a meeting, in court, or in the legislature, I wear a black turtleneck.
Okay.
So most of the time, when you see me filming on my lives, I wear a black turtleneck year round. The office is very cold, and I just decided about 2 or 3 years ago. Like black track pants, black turtleneck is easy. And
Comfortable?
but they are Ralph Lauren polo turtlenecks. And the reason I'm
heard that, right?
No, the reason I'm calling it out is because people call me and they say, Givan, your neck never sags. Well, the reason they don't sag, I do pay a little bit more money.
You have a tack?
Because they don't sag and they hold their wear around the neckline. Because it's nothing like a droopy. And so
I hate
people
turtlenecks that
droop. So people ask me that. That's the only reason I said that. People ask me that all the time. But that, and even the ones that I have with the meme on it that's printed, that's a turtleneck. It is a Ralph Lauren, and that's all. And I love, my fetish is black booty socks.
Black booty socks.
Buy me some, go to City Trends.
Christmas.
City Trends.
That's a Christmas.
For anybody who say they don't know what to get me, City Trends. I'm obsessed with the bundles of black booty socks.
I don't even know what a booty sock is.
They're the little half socks.
Oh, okay.
Little half socks.
Okay.
I'm obsessed with those. You can get me some of those. My mother gave me the best birthday gift last year. People always say, well, I don't know what to get you. And I would say, that's a lie. I said, all you have to do is ask me. They said, well, you have? No, I don't have everything. Well, we can't afford. I said, I'm not expecting you to buy me something that I would buy for myself if I have the money and I know you don't. Yeah. So I said, ask me. So my mom one day did that. This birthday, she bought me a tracksuit. She bought me a tracksuit and the socks.
Whoa.
Listen, and Christmas, she bought me 2 tracksuits and some socks. And when I tell you, she'll tell you, Mama Pat, the best gift. Yeah. Because it was something I really liked.
Yeah, exactly. She kept it simple and she know what you like and she went for it.
Well, Mike, I'm so glad you had me on your show tonight.
Man, I am glad too, man. It's been a great show.
I gave you the extra because I was running late. Yeah. Hey, Janice Hill. Hey, Janice. I can shout everybody out now, Mike.
Go ahead. Shout them all out.
Let me shout out everybody. Hey, Janice. Hey, Daryl. Hey, Daryl. Hey, Carla was on here. Hey, Antonio was on here. I'm trying to get to everybody as it's scrolling down. I know Dimples was on. I can't. Daryl, you put in a lot of comments, Daryl. Daryl been going in. Daryl, you was waiting on this one. Daryl, how many comments did you put in here? Daryl, oh my God. I gotta go back in here and watch all these. Is this little he was talking about who else? Hey Teresa. Let's see. So she said Kevin Moore retired. Let me see. I can't get to all of them. Martin. Hey, Martin. Birmingham Southern is coming. I'm waiting to see how I'm going to do roll the Birmingham Southern out, guys. That's going to be a good one. Y'all going to see how petty it was. Y'all going to be like, oh, my God, I cannot believe this. Well, anyway, Carla Flakes was on. Antonio was on. Bridget was on. Hey, Bridget. Hey, girl. Hey. I'm trying to shout everybody out and get to that French name that was up there at the top. It's so many. Dimple's on here. Listen, hold up. Before I go, I got to tell y'all this. Dimple told me to make sure the next time I did an interview, she came on to the last interview late. She's like, tell them your story, and this, that, and other. And I said, okay, I will. But I had already told it, but she didn't know it. So my story, she wanted me to let everybody know that I worked my way through law school, Miles Law School, working on the back of the brush truck, from the brush truck to the garbage truck, from the garbage truck to the litter truck, from the litter truck to drive.
Wow, that's a part too.
Yeah, man. Wow. She wanted me to know, because people think, I worked my ass off, my butt off. Yeah, excuse me.
No, it's all good. So you, when you say that you tough and you strong and these are things that you're talking about, right?
I'm tough. Listen, it was back in the day when I worked at the street department that we had a thing. If you could make it at the Birmingham Street and Sanitation Department, you could make it anywhere. It was very tough. First of all, of course, back then, you jumping on the back, like I'm literally jumping on and off a garbage truck. Yeah. Listen, I ran garbage. Keeping up with the trucks.
No.
Okay, make it make sense. So Dimples wanted me to tell y'all that. So Dimples, I had to tell
Dimples, you're right, Dimples. This kind of stuff that people resonate with and need to know.
And that's why people are resonating with me. If people turn around in the streets, they see me. If they see me in line somewhere, people are coming up to me and saying, thank you for just being you. So there are a lot of people who can't get with it because they live in these houses that's just so glass, and the realization is every now and then you're going to get some stains, you're going to get some drips,
all of us.
Some residue. So at the end of the day, I just keep it moving and tell it like it is. And I'm in love. I love it. Hey, Myron, whoever that is, I don't see it, Myron. I'm going so fast. Teresa Brown, she didn't finish discussing her plan for crime. Can she finish? Teresa, let me tell you what hey, Ray, listen, at the end of the day, again, my plan for crime is this. We're going to put substations. I'm going to work on a plan to put some substations in and around Birmingham. We've got to recruit officers. We're going to do a much better job of recruiting the officers than what's going on now. What you're saying right now is not necessarily where the city of Birmingham will need to be. We need to have at least a bare minimum. Right. Lord have mercy, Demi. Hey, Demi, I love you.
Demi.
I miss Demi.
What's Demi?
I really miss Demi Barlow because Demi has been with me forever. And I just want to say that to you publicly, Demi. I owe a lot of my whole career to Demi Barlow because she was my graphics person. She handled my event. She has done everything for me. And I've not had one journey in this life that I have done politically without Demi being there with me. Demi, and I just wanted to say that to you publicly. And I wanted to say to you that I see you, and I should have said this to you several weeks ago. I just wanted to say that right there, Demi, I really, really wanted to say that I saw her name because she's been with me all these years. Yeah. I've not done anything in my life politically without her and Hezekiah.
What Demi at now?
Demi is working. I can't tell you what she's working. I want her to come back though. And
come on back home, Demi.
Come on back home, Demi. Y'all put in there, come back, Demi. Put in it, and before everybody goes, we about to close out. Put in there, Demi. Just put Demi, Demi. Demi, come back. Come on back home, Demi.
Demi, come on back home.
Call Anthony Hamilton on you. Come on home, Demi. But the realization is, Carla Flake's always there. Thank you, Carla. You and Antonio are hard, heavy hitters. But yeah, life isn't it, Kim? Thank you for coming in. Everybody, I try to shout everybody out because that's another thing. I always shout people out. Myra Clark. Hey, Myra, my family is on. Myra Clark. Yeah, because listen, one of my cousins, Marilyn Ann, she was like, I was getting so upset the other day. I was like, it's okay. Hey, Jasmine. Magaha. I love shouting folks. Even the
shout
people
them
who
out.
be cussing me out, I shout them out too.
I'm giving you, hey, this is your opportunity. Shout them out.
When it's Myron, I don't know when the next forum, but I certainly hope it is organized. I know the AKAs are having some kind of forum. And listen, to say something about these forums, I want to tell you, y'all, if y'all are putting these forums on, put the forums on. Don't mix the council with the mayor. That's number one. Stop trying to load all of this stuff on the forums. I'm waiting for the debate. I do know there will be a debate. I believe in just letting the debate speak. It's difficult to go from neighborhood to neighborhood. So I just have always been one. I used to moderate debates. I meant the forums when I was with Birmingham View TV as a political analyst. So I don't know when the next one will be, but I'll make sure I let y'all know. Bridget, again, thank you. So everybody, Cynthia, hey, Cynthia. So everybody, if I miss you, that's about it. Brooke Horn, Brooke always on here. Eric Hall. Oh, Lord, y'all done put, come back, Demi. Come back, Demi. Come back, Demi. Come back.
They put it in the chat.
Yeah, come back. Brooke Horn and baby, listen, her baby is my newest, biggest fan forever. She is the future president of the United States of America because Brooke don't be playing about her soror. Yes. Come back, Demi. Come back home, Demi.
All right, guys. I'm glad you had the opportunity to connect with your people.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you let me connect.
And you always do that.
I do. I try the best. Even when they be checking me out.
Yeah, you do a good job of connecting with your people. So, man, thank y'all, man. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, Juandalynn, for stopping by, man. Man, look, I'm glad when Moss, my guy, Moss.
Tyrus. Look, Tyrus gonna forever be the cleanest guy in the land.
Hey, that boy.
He don't come and play fair. He always gonna come there with some kind of machete to chop your head off in fashion.
But I appreciate Tyrus though, man, because he connect me with so many people that I probably wouldn't have connections with. Thank you, Tyrus, for connecting me with Miss Givan. So with that being said, man, I appreciate you. hey, run your race, do whatever you have to do. Speak facts, keep kicking the ballistics, and doing what you do, man. I appreciate what you do. And the more I learn about you, the more I understand your style of politics, and I understand that you pretty much is a no nonsense person. You get facts and you stick to the facts. And the facts is about that bill is just what it is.
It is what it is. And I mean, I would never do anything to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is a bad situation. And as I've said, you all will see how this is going to play out in the next few days.
Yeah.
You all will see it. You all will message me and you will say that Givan, in her own way, tried to share the truth. We are about inclusiveness. We're going to have, if I win this, I'm going to have a great administration. I'm going to have people that will be in that city, that will work in that city hall. We're going to open those doors back up for real, for those doors to be inviting, for people to get good customer service. We're going to work on environmental justice. And to close out, I always have to do this because people always say, well, what have you done for the city? Listen, I posted the Kenworth trucking. Listen, not only Kenworth, the 2 Hope 6 developments where we tore down that Central City, Juandalynn Givan, Brickyard, Juandalynn Givan. So many different things. I posted Eddie Kendrick Park. I am big on also supporting mom and pop stores. That's why you see me going around. These are places that I frequent. So I'm very sincere about that, but also other projects. You know, there are so many. The privatization of the zoo, the environmental court. We're going to make that environmental court work in the right manner that it should work. But we're going to get the manpower to clean this city, and we'll move from there. So you all check me out, GivanForMayor.com.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a good time doing it. And again, if I win, I win. So there will be no need for somebody to say, make that make sense. It is making sense right now because I'm in the race and I'm trying. So you make it make sense.
With that being said, man, thank you again.
Thank you.
And hey, I want everybody to look in the camera, or look at me in the camera. And always remember, I always close my show out with this one saying, either you part of the problem or part of the solution. Which one are you? Make it make sense.
Wait a minute, make it. Wait a minute. What did you just say?
I just had to say that. Make it make sense.
Did y'all hear him? Make it make sense, everybody. Y'all, before we go out, put it in the chat. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, everybody. We are what? Coming. We are coming.
We love y'all, man. I'm out of here.
Somebody.